Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the Hopkinton High School turf fields. We are just getting underway here in the top of the first, and to start things off, that was the shortstop for Dedham, grounding out. A 6-3 ground out for Cam Galvin. And that will bring up number 3, Liam Dowling, who is a third baseman. Tom Nappy, happy to be with you on the call. Joe Frackleton on camera. Nice sunny day for some Hiller baseball. And this one's going to be hit in the air and caught by the shortstop. So a bit of an early start. This game was scheduled for a 4:30 start, but they get things going a little bit early. And also a surprise to us today, as stepping to the plate is the third hitter in the Dedham lineup, and that is Ryan Lauder, who is a catcher. Swing and a miss there. So another pleasant surprise to us today is the Hiller softball team was supposed to be on the road, but they are home today, and that's due to the field conditions at Dedham. The fields were not playable there, so they had to switch the game to right here at Hopkinton High School. And then the game that the Hillers softball team was scheduled to go to Dedham later in the season, that game will now, or Dedham was scheduled to come here later in the season. So they swapped the games. So the Hillers will be traveling to Dedham later, and Dedham is at Hopkinton here today for the softball team. So we're going to be trying to get you some updates of the softball game as well, and some live look-ins, as we have a 2-out single into center field by the catcher, Ryan Lauder. The early start catching us off guard a little bit here as we're trying to get organized. But we got 2 outs and a runner on first for the Marauders. Stepping to the plate, this is the cleanup hitter. And this is Edwin Rodriguez, DH. Checking at first, runner slides back safe. So let's get you the Hiller defense, why don't we? We got Sullivan on the mound. That's Michael Sullivan. So he is out there for the Hillers. We actually got a glimpse of him against Ashland. He pitched a couple innings, and a nice throw over by the shortstop, Dylan Ruff. 6-3 for out number 3. And just like that, we're heading to the bottom of the first. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hiller Baseball on HCAM. Bottom of the first inning after a scoreless top of the first. At the plate, you got Mitch Simulus, the DH for the Hillers. Swing and a miss for the first pitch. Lineup and the pitch. That's a little low. 1-1. Hiller softball game getting started up in a few minutes. Both of these games are scheduled for 4:30 starts, but a bit of an early start here as this is grounded to short. Throw to first, not a problem. 6-3, 4 out number 1. And that'll bring up Nick Pajoli, the center fielder. Nice day here at the turf fields. Temperatures in the lower 50s, high 40s. A little bit of a wind. And this one is fouled away. We'll make the count 1-2. So again, folks, an unexpected change with Hiller softball. Instead of playing in Dedham as scheduled today, they are at home due to field conditions in Dedham with all that rain we just had. I believe Dedham has a grass field over there, so a lot of the grass fields aren't really playable right now. And this is going to be hit in the air and caught by the third baseman. 2 away. Next up is going to be Dylan Ruff, who is the shortstop. Oh, and 1 the count. There's a breaking pitch, and didn't break enough, ball 1. And this is fouled off. Ball there, 2-2. Pitching for Dedham is Jack Haven. Full count, and this is hit in the air, foul. Good battle here between Jack Haven and Dylan Ruff. Ooh, inside, the walk is drawn. That'll bring up the pitcher, Michael Sullivan. And the cleanup man in the lineup today. Runner taking off from first, throw to second, not in time. Stolen base for Dylan Ruff. Well, the Hillers, they're aggressive at running those bases. And when they have an opportunity to get someone in scoring position, that's what they're going to do. Ball there. 1-1 the count. And that is hit foul up the left side. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss. That'll make the count 1-2. Hiller softball and Dedham just getting underway. They're in the top of the first. Dedham has a runner on. Unfortunately, due to the late change, we were unable to get a crew for that game, but we will be giving you some updates, and we'll have some live look-ins as well during this broadcast. Set to deal. And this is hit high in the air towards left center. And it's going to drop. Here comes a Hiller run. And for now, it's a double. He's going to keep going to third. That rolled really deep out there. And it's a triple. An RBI triple for Michael Sullivan. And Sullivan had to dive into third, and if he didn't have to dive there, he might have been able to keep going home, as there was an overthrow to try to get it to third base. That'll bring up Michael Kramus, the first baseman. So a run is in for the Hillers. There's a strike. 0-1 the count. That pitch up high, 1-1. Set to deliver. Swing and a miss. That'll make the count 1-2. So the Hiller lineup, you had Mitch Stimulus lead things off with a ground out, as there's a strike. Or actually, it looks like he might have got a piece of it to stay alive. You had Nick Pajoli, the center fielder, batting second. Dylan Ruff, shortstop, hitting third. Michael Sullivan, pitcher, hitting cleanup. Sullivan just had the triple to score Ruff. And now you got Michael Kramus batting fifth, playing first base. That pitch is outside. Kel Mahan, the catcher, hitting sixth and catching. Andrew Bauschman, third baseman, hitting seventh. Zach Stacy, left fielder, hitting eighth. James Hayward, right fielder, hitting ninth. And Gabe Cafazzo's at second base, but the odd man out of the lineup. Check swing there as he holds and draws a ball. We have a full count. It looks like Hiller softball heading to the bottom of the first, as we're going to head to the top of the second. Kramus strikes out, but the Hillers plate a run, and they lead it 1-0. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hiller Baseball on HCAM. This program is brought to you in part by TVLSports.net. You can view the standings, stories, pictures, highlights, and more about the 12 teams in the Tri-Valley League at TVLSports.net. TVLSports.net is an independent news and media website reporting on the TVL and is not associated with the MIAA, Tri-Valley League, or any town or school. Top of the second inning, a 1-0 Hiller lead. 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Dedham. At the plate now, this is Cameron Keene. So Michael Sullivan pitched 2 innings against Ashland last week in the home opener for the Hillers and did a nice job, and I suspect we're going to see him a lot this season, as this is grounded to short, picked up, throw over, not a problem. 6-3, 4 out, number 1. And that will bring up the center fielder for the Marauders, Jadel Feliciano. Leg lift and the pitch. That's fouled away. That'll make the count 1-1. That pitch just outside. 2-1. Lined up and the pitch. A little high. 3-1 the count. And the walk is drawn. So want to walk to Feliciano, and that's going to bring up Jack Haven, the pitcher. HCAM Weather Center reading at 46 degrees right now. Nice sunny day. Certainly good to see the sun after all that rain. And this is popped up, and that's going to trickle into center field. So it's going to be 2 on and 1 out for Dedham. That's going to bring up James Doyle. Hiller softball right now has a pair on base in the bottom of the first. Game remains scoreless. James Doyle, the right fielder at the plate. Checking at second, nearly got him. Just slides back safely. Michael Sullivan has thrown 22 pitches so far. Has had to work a bit this inning. And runner slides back. Jason Hamilton is pinch running for Haven at first base. Got to protect those pitchers. Courtesy runner. Swing and a miss. This would be a big out here if you could get him. 1-1 the count. Two-one is the count. That's tipped foul. And that pitch high and outside. It's going to make it 3-1. Yeah, Sullivan having a little bit of control issues out there. That pitch high and outside. It's going to make it 3-1. Wind up and the pitch. Fouled off. Battle continues. Full count. And the walk is drawn. That's going to load up the bases for Dedham. So big situation here for the Hillers, and a crucial situation for Dedham as they could get the bats going with bases juiced and one out. John McLean, the left fielder, stepping to the plate. A little chat with the pitcher, Michael Sullivan, will ensue first. Hiller softball getting the bats going to the right of us against Dedham in the bottom of the first. We'll have an update from that game in a moment. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1 the count. Hiller softball leading 2-0 in their game. There's a bunt pulled back. Addie Walls and Zoe Levine have scored a couple runs for Hiller softball. That team's just been tattooing the ball lately. Oh, Sullivan in danger here of giving up a walk. A walk would drive in a run. Swing and a miss. Big out there. That was a great strikeout for Sullivan. 2 away for Dedham as Cam Galvin will step to the plate. And this is tattooed. That's going to drop into right field. One run is in. Here comes another run, and it's going to be a 2-1 Dedham lead. A 2 RBI single for the leadoff man, Cam Galvin. And Dedham is in business. Jadel Feliciano scoring, as well as the pinch runner for Haven, Jason Hamilton. James Doyle up to third, so runners on first and third, 2 outs. There's a strike. One and one the count. That's fouled off. Hopkinton Dedham softball on the top of the second. The girls leading in the softball game 2-0. Nice pitch there for a strike. Leg lift and the pitch. And that had some good movement on it, but inside. Cam Galvin took off for second base. He gets the easy steal. 2-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. And he gets out of it with no further damage done. But Dedham plates a pair, and they lead it 2-0. Or excuse me, 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the second on HCAM. Right now you're getting a live look at the Hiller softball game. A late change moved the game from Dedham to Hopkinton due to the field conditions over in Dedham. It's top of the second right now in that game. And the Hillers are leading 2-0, but Dedham with a runner on second and no outs, so they're threatening. We'll keep you updated with what happens in that game, but Hiller baseball coming back up to the plate, so we're going to pan back over to the Hopkinton-Dedham baseball game as Cal Mahan steps in, the catcher. First pitch fouled off. Tom Nappy, happy to be with you on the call today. Joe Frackleton on camera. Big thanks to Joe for giving us a nice glimpse of the softball game. We'll have many live look-ins throughout the broadcast. Oh, and 2 the count on Mahan. And he is going to hit this in the air, and it is going to be, is that fair? It looks like it's landed fair. Well, you can see the sun was a factor there for the first baseman. It looked like Mahan hit that right into the sun as Brady Petto really tried to battle the sun to make that play, but he lost the ball. It lands in fair territory, and the Hillers in business as we get a courtesy runner for the catcher. Andrew Bauschman at the plate. Ryan Lang is in the pinch run, and he's going to get a big piece of this one. Center field. It's caught by the center fielder, and well, the pinch runner for Mahan, Ryan Lang, had to go back to first, and Dedham was playing deep there. And actually, that was the left fielder who made that catch. Nicely done by John McLean in left field. Zach Stacy is at the plate. And that's fouled off. Hit high in the air, right side, could be trouble, and that is going to be a fair ball. That landed just fair. So a couple sky-high singles for the Hillers, and they have 2 runners on with 1 out. James Hayward at the plate. And he gets a piece of this one. It's up the middle. The pitcher throws over. He gets the 1-3 out, but both runners advance. There are 2 outs, however. Top of the order coming up for the Hillers. You got Mitch Simulus stepping in. He'll take that one low, 1-0. There's a strike. Outside there. Two and one the count. Mitch Simulus has been hitting the ball well to start the season. Now pitch outside. Simulus hitting a .400 and his 8 plate appearances, 5 at-bats, and he's going to get a piece of this one up the middle, picked up by the shortstop. Throw to first. And did he get the out? Yes, he did. So 6-3 on the out, and that will retire the side in the bottom of the second. So despite 2 runners reaching, no damage done for the Hillers, and we will head to the top of the third with Dedham leading 2-1 on HCAM. A live look-in at the Hiller softball game. Bottom of the second, a 2-0 Hiller lead, and that's Zoe Adams at the plate right now. And we'll see what she does with this pitch. A little high. And she continues the battle as we enter the top of the third at the Hiller baseball game. 2-1 Dedham lead. Michael Sullivan remains out there for the Hillers as Ryan Lyer at the plate. 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up for Dedham as that one's fouled away. Leg lift and the pitch. And this is hit up the middle, takes a couple hops, picked up by the second baseman, not a problem. A nice 4-3 out there to get things started. that'll bring up Edwin Rodriguez, the DH. And for those of you wondering what happened in that at bat you were watching for softball, it ended up being an out. So they got one out in the bottom of the second over in the softball game. And if this game gets over before the softball game, we'll cover the rest of that game for you. Due to the late change, we were unfortunately unable to get a crew out there. And we have a strikeout as Edwin Rodriguez goes down swinging, 2 away. That's going to bring up Cameron Keene, the second baseman. Wind-up and the pitch. Little low there. 1-0. There's a strike. 1-1. Well, the Hillers 1-1 on the season. Hiller baseball, it's just their second home game. They started off the season with a loss in Holliston, but took a nice win against Ashland last week. And how about that? Another strikeout for Sullivan. After kind of a rough second inning, he has settled down, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the third. We will head to the bottom of the third. Hillers coming up on HCAM. A live look in at the Hillers softball game. Addie Wall's at the plate. She puts this one on the ground, and it's picked up by the shortstop. Throw over to first to get the out. And that will retire the side in the bottom of the second in the Hillers softball game. Hillers on top in that game, 2-0. It looks like maybe kind of a pitcher's duel starting to form in that Hillers softball game. As here at the baseball game, we enter the bottom of the third, top of the order coming up for the Hillers. Mitch Simulus set to step in. And he tattoos this ball. Into right field it goes. And a nice single to start off the bottom of the third for the Hillers. Correction, that was Nick Pedroli at the plate to start things off. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Hillers. Pedroli, Ruff, and Sullivan due up. Dylan Ruff at the plate now as they check in at first. Pedroli back safe. Well, Nick Pedroli, just a great hitter, and he's going to be someone the Hillers rely on, hitting a 500 here in these early games. 3 for 6 overall. Haven set to deal, and checking at first, runner back safe. The 0-1, and that's fouled off. 0-2. Dylan Ruff so far at a .333 average and 6 at-bats. check in at first once again, or a look over since Pedroli back. I think Dedham knows the Hillers' reputation as far as base running. They're not afraid to try to steal. 1-2 the count. That pitch down low, runner from first taking off, and he slides in. Good steal by Pedroli. Waited for the right moment, and he picked the right moment. Runner on second, no outs. Here's the 2-2. And that's strike three, got him. One away, that's going to bring up Michael Sullivan, the pitcher. Well, the Hillers, they could be very good at times manufacturing runs, but other times they're a little risky on the base pass and get caught. But it doesn't seem like one of those days, as this is going to be foul up the left side. Sullivan hitting a .333 so far in 6 at-bats. He has driven in 3 runs, and the check-in at third, or he stole third, and it looks like he's going to be safe. So Pedroli stealing his way around the base paths. That pitch just outside. 2 stolen bases for Pedroli. Steals second and third. And Dedham bats over the softball game, making some noise. And this is hit in the air, left side. It is caught. Runner from third is going to tag. The throw in, cut off, and we have a tie ball game. So Michael Sullivan gets the job done. A sacrifice RBI flyout. And it's a 2-2 game. Michael Kramus steps to the plate. Hit high in the air towards right center, could be trouble, and it's going to be dropped by the diving center fielder, and he is going to keep going to second, slides in, and that is going to be a double for Kramus. Yeah, I don't think you could give that an error. That was a tough play to make. That's going to bring up Cal Mahan. That was, Nolan Kramus. So Nolan Kramus aboard with the double. Nope, wrong again. The roster I was reading was a little cut off. It's Noah Kramus. I think that's a name we're going to get to know very well this season. Noah Kramus, a sophomore. That's fouled off. So they're officially scoring that in error. So they're going to say he reached on an error, I guess, since the center fielder did come in contact with the ball. But he almost had it. That was a great dive by Jadel Feliciano. Nearly caught it. Tough play to make. And it looked like it was right on the cusp of his glove, but he just could not corral it in. And this is going to be a trickler up the middle. It stopped before the mound, but they will get the out. 1-3 for out number 3, but the Hillers tie up the game And it's a 2-2 game as we head to the top of the fourth on HCAM. A live look in at the Hiller softball game. Hiller's leading 2-1, so Dedham did get a run back last inning. That's Zoe Levine at the plate as she fouls that one away. And a good battle going on here. A couple fouls. 2-2 count on Levine. Certainly always a big help with the Game Changer app. Being quickly caught up on what's going on in this game. Levine gets a piece of this one. Over to left center, and that's going to keep rolling. To second she goes, heading to third. And is she going to score? She's going to try to score. The throw in is going to be off the mark. And how about that? An inside the park home run for Zoe Levine. And the Hiller softball team takes a 3-1 lead over Dedham in the bottom of the third. And with that, we'll turn it back to the baseball game. But certainly glad to get that nice little highlight in. Some great camera work by Joe Frackleton there. In this game, we're in the top of the fourth. Jadel Feliciano at the plate as he fouls that one away. Feliciano, the center fielder. And how about another strikeout for Michael Sullivan? He has been dealing since that second inning. Jack Haven, the pitcher, at the plate. It's the 6, 7, and 8 hitters this inning for Dedham. Swing and a miss. Breezes it by him. 1-1. That pitch down low. Pitch a little outside. 2-1. Nice pitch there. Full count. The decisive pitch. And he got him. Gets him looking. It grabs the outside corner. 2 away. That's 4 strikeouts in the last 2 innings for Sullivan. He is 5 overall in the game, or make that 6 overall. As James Doyle steps in. Two outs in the inning. And that was low and outside. Hit high in the air, right side foul. That'll make the count 2-1. Down low. 3-1 count. And that's going to be ball 4. So the first slip up that Sullivan has had in the last couple of innings, as he'll have a chat. It looks like we're going to get a new pitcher. Sullivan has thrown 64 pitches, so he's done his work for the day. New pitcher coming in for the Hillers. We'll fill you in on who that is when we come back. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers Baseball on HCAM. HCAM programming is brought to you in part by Maine Pizza and Grill. Made fresh, made local at Bill's on Main. You can visit them online at bomainhopkinton.com. New pitcher for the Hopkinton Hillers, that's junior Thomas McCarthy out there to take over from Michael Sullivan, who pitched really well through 3 2/3 of an inning. At the plate, that's John McLean, the left fielder. 2 outs, runner on first. Yeah, I think that the Hillers are excited with what they have with Sullivan, as that's a bunt and a foul. That pitch a little low there. 1-2. So Sullivan went 3 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, as that's fouled off, both of which were earned, and struck out 6. So nice outing for the sophomore. And now we'll see if McCarthy can keep the momentum going. 2-2 the count. And he got him. Strike 3. Get some swinging, and that will wrap up the top of the 4th. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th with the score tied at 2 apiece on HCAM. And right now we'll take you over for a live look-in at the Hiller-Dedham softball game. Live looking at the Hillers softball game. They're in the top of the fourth. Dedham batting. Hillers still lead it 3-1. And there's a bunt, and it's going to be picked up, throw over, and they'll get the out at third. What a great defensive play. Runner from second tries to advance, and they end up doubling them up. They get Andrews at first. Runner from second decides to try to advance, and they get the out. So some nice defense from the Hillers softball team. As now we'll take you back to the Hiller baseball game. Hiller softball again leading 3-1, now heading to the bottom of the fourth. And I'm enjoying these live look-ins. It seems like whenever we get the camera over there, something great for the Hillers happens. So let's hope that continues to be the theme of the day. Bottom of the fourth for the Hillers here, and it is the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. Bauschman at the plate right now, and it's an 0-2 count. Haven remains out there for Dedham as this is hit up the left side. Throw over is going to be high and get away, and Bauschman is going to be safely aboard. That was a bit of a difficult throw to make as it was deep in the infield, but you certainly got to score that in error, I would say. Zach Stacy due up next for the Hillers. So I'm going to mark that down as E6. And no, they're going to score a single. The official scorekeeper doing the game changers. So we'll score a single as well. And that one is going to drop in for another hit. And the throw in cut off. And how about that? Zach Stacy with some power. He has a double. And that will push Bauschman up to third. No outs for the Hillers as they look to rally here. James Hayward, the right fielder, stepping to the plate. There's a strike. So they scored that a single with an advance on the throw. So an error on the throw in allowed the runners to advance. Second error of the game for Dedham. And now if you're the Hillers, you got to be licking your chops here. 2 runners in scoring position, no outs. Chance to really get some momentum going as Hayward puts this in the air. That's going to drop down into right field, and a pair of runs are going to score for the Hillers. A 2 RBI single for James Hayward. That is just what the Hillers wanted there. Hopkinton takes the 2-run lead. A great piece of hitting by James Hayward. Checking that first, runner back safe. Top of the order now for the Hillers. Mitch Simulus is at the plate. Breaking pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Some nice movement on that pitch by Haven. Well, Haven, he's thrown 63 pitches so far. Swing and a miss. Runner from first taking off. Slides in safely to second. Stolen base for Hayward. And this is going to be up the left side, picked up by the shortstop. Throw to first, and he gets the out at first. Good throw over, but a job well done as Hayward advances to third. So sacrifice ground out there for Simulus, and that'll bring up Nick Pedroli. Oh, excuse me. they're going to score that a single. He did not get thrown out. The throw was a little late. So an infield single for Simulus. So still no outs for the Hillers. Runners on first and third. I thought the umpire signaled he got him. We are a good distance away, so sometimes my eyes deceive me. But that is a single indeed for Simulus. No outs for the Hillers as they continue to rally. Fouled off by Pedroli there. 1-2 count. And that is fouled into the backstop. Well, Hiller softball has added another run. They lead it 4-1 in the bottom of the fourth. Hiller softball, they've been playing some great softballs. Pedroli is going to get hit by the pitch there, and the bases are full of Hillers with no outs. That's going to bring up Dylan Ruff. Nick Pedroli at first, Simulus at second, Hayward at third. No outs for the Hillers. Big opportunity here as we're going to get a chat at the mound. The Dedham coach coming out to talk to his pitcher. Doesn't look like he's taking the ball, so it looks like he might leave Jack Haven out there. Jack Haven in his junior year for Dedham. You got Dylan Ruff due up for the Hillers. All right, so it looks like Haven's staying out there. Ruff hitting a .333 coming into today's game. And on the season so far, he has scored a run and driven in 3. Looking to drive in more here. Took that pitch low. Wind up and the pitch. Little high. Check it at third. Runner slides back just safe. That was a close call there. 1-1 the count on Ruff. That pitch outside. Ball 2. 2-1. Leg lift and the pitch. Outside, 3-1. Set to deliver. And this is hit high in the air towards right center. And it is caught in right field. All runners from second and third are going to tag. And the Hillers have another run. Well, Dedham lucky the right fielder was playing deep. That was hit almost towards the fence, and he was backtracking towards that fence, but it just stays in the yard. But a job well done as Hayward around to score. And Mitch Simulus up to third. Pedroli at first, Michael Sullivan to the plate. And he's going to get a good piece of this one. That's going to drop into center field. And Pedroli heads over to third. So a nice piece of hitting by Sullivan. That's going to bring up, or actually it looks like Thomas McCarthy was the hitter there. My apologies. And he's going to have a stolen base as well. Nolan Kramus at the plate. Noah Kramus has struck it out and reached on an error so far. 1-0 count. Runners on second and third for the Hillers still, and there are 2 outs. You had the sacrifice RBI flyout by Simulus and Dylan Ruff with the fly out to right field, which scored a run. Swing and a miss there. And that will retire the side. Kramus goes down by way of the K. But the Hillers tack on some runs. Not 1, not 2, but 3 more. And they lead it 5-2 as we head to the top of the 5th on HCAM. And we will give you a live look in at the Hiller-Dedham softball game in the meantime. Live looking at the Hiller softball game. Right now they are in the top of the 5th as well. A 4-1 Hiller lead. They added another run last inning. And now you got Dedham at the plate with a runner on second. 1 out for Dedham. McNamara at the plate. And they're going to throw to second to check on the runner. Nice job by Charlotte Holden not letting that ball get into the outfield. Yeah, it looks like maybe checking on the Hillers center fielder there to make sure she's okay. That was Callie Arthur, rather, who came in to stop that ball, so umpire making sure she's okay. So we'll see if the Hillers can stop Dedham as they look to try to get back in the game. But in the meantime, oh, we got a bunt, and that is going to draw a throw to second, and how about that? They get an out. They double them up, a bunt for a strikeout, and then they get the runner at second base who was caught off guard. And how about that? Another great play to wrap up our live look-in as we head back to the Hiller baseball game. Wind up and the pitch fouled away. Top of the order for Dedham. Five to 2 Hiller lead as we are into the top of the 5th. And that pitch in there for a strike. This is Cam Galvin at the plate, the shortstop. A little outside there. 2-2 the count. Wind up and the pitch. A little low and inside. That'll fill up the count. Set to deliver inside. Look out. Apologies, folks. That'll fill up the count. And the walk is drawn. So lead man on for Dedham. Galvin draws up the walk, and that's going to bring up Liam Dowling, the third baseman. Checking on the runner, he's back safe. And that pitch down low. Well, the Hiller Bats making some noise. They're in the bottom of the fifth in their game. And it looks like they're going to score a couple more runs. They got another run there. I believe that was Addie Walls who just had an RBI triple. Addie Walls, she's been sensational for Hiller softball. Making noise with the bat, and has been a terrific pitcher as well. 2-0 count. There's a ball. 3-0. We'll see what the leash is here with McCarthy. There's a strike. 3-1 the count. That was Caroline Osmond who got the triple. Well, I was trying to go based on the numbers, but I don't know the softball numbers well enough just yet, as Dowling draws a walk. That's 2 straight walks. And it looks like we're going to get a chat here on the mound, and perhaps we'll see if we get a new pitcher. It looks like for now he's going to stay in the game. So you had Caroline Osmond with RBI triple that scored Levine, and Hiller softball in business, and they continue to rally in the bottom of the fifth. But we are ready to continue on. Crucial situation here. 2 runners on for Dedham and no outs. Ryan Lauder, the catcher, at the plate. Took a strike. 0-1 the count. Wind up and the pitch. A little outside. Set for the 1-1. Just outside. 2-1 the count. Hiller softball update. New pitcher coming in for Dedham, as Hiller softball has added yet another run. Now 6-1 in the bottom of the fifth in that game, as that's fouled away. Hillers do have warm-up action. Wind up and the pitch. Just outside. Got Ryan Lang getting loose for the Hillers. In case McCarthy runs into a problem here. Full count. And this is put up the left side and foul. Set to deliver. And the walk is drawn. Bases loaded for Dedham. Cleanup hitter coming to the plate. Edwin Rodriguez, the DH. Wind up and the pitch. And this is hit high in the air towards left field and caught. Runner from third is going to tag, and he will score. So Dedham gets a run there. An RBI flyout, sacrifice RBI flyout for Rodriguez. 2 runners remain on for Dedham. Runners on first and second. Swing and a miss. At the plate, this is Cameron Keene, the second baseman. Here's the 0-1. And strike 2. Well, I'll tell you, the Hiller coach is showing that they got some faith in Thomas McCarthy, leaving him out there and a bases loaded, no out situation, and now it's 2 on with 1 out. But if you can get out of this with no further damage, that would certainly be impressive. And there's strike 3. 2 away. Big strikeout there. As Cameron Keene goes down by way of the K. That's going to bring up Jadel Feliciano, the center fielder. Wind up and the pitch. And he hits this one in the air to left center. That's going to drop in for a hit. Here comes 1 run in to score, and that's all that'll score. A good throw in, a good quick throw in by the left fielder to prevent the game tying run from scoring. So Lauder pushes up to third, and Dowling is in, and we have a 1-run game as Jack Haven steps to the plate. Nice RBI single for Jadel Feliciano. Swing and a miss. Well, I think the mission of this inning is try to get out of it with the lead. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Well, Michael Sullivan started the game, went 3 2/3 of an inning. Thomas McCarthy has been in since. And trying to hold the lead here. 1-2 count. Well, Hiller softball, they've opened up their game. They lead at 8-1 in the 6th inning. So things looking very good for the Hiller softball team. As we mentioned earlier, we're trying to give you extra updates on that game. It was a last-minute location change. They moved the game from Dedham here to Hopkinton and swapped the home games that each team has. Of course, Dedham in their first spring season in the TVL Large. So the Hillers will travel to Dedham later in the season, as this is a rocket up the left side, but foul. So last minute call to swap the home games. Hiller softball at home today, and unfortunately we couldn't get a crew out there, but we're giving you some extra updates, and fortunately we've been able to capture some great plays from that game. A couple great defensive plays and an inside the park home run, so we are pretty happy with the highlights that we got from that one. As Jack Haven going to draw the walk here, and it is going to be bases loaded for Dedham with 2 outs. Coming to the plate is James Doyle. Leg lift and the pitch. Inside, 1-0. He winds and deals. There's a strike, 1-1. Two and one the count. Three and one now. A walk here would score a run. Line up in the pitch. Swing and a miss, full count. Big pitch coming up here for Thomas McCarthy. Leg lift and the pitch. Oh, the walk is drawn, and this game is tied. I think that's going to be the day for McCarthy. Here comes Coach Anderson to take the ball, and we're going to have a new pitcher. He was hoping Thomas McCarthy could get out of the inning, but he battled hard to try to get out of that bases loaded, no out situation. So new pitcher for the Hillers, game tied at 5 in inning number 5. We'll step aside on HCAM. New pitcher for the Hillers, you got Ryan Lang out there, third pitcher of the game. Dedham has scored 3 runs in the inning. It's now tied at 5. Ninth man in the batting order, John McLean, coming up. So very much anyone's ball game. And Dedham, they still have runners on all 3 of the bases. So they could do some damage here. But obviously, Ryan Lang has other ideas. McCarthy went 1 full inning, gave up a hit, 3 runs, all 3 earned, and walked 5, striking out 2. 1-1 the count on McLean. And that is foul, 1-2. A nice defensive play for Hiller softball. They caught a runner at third who was thinking of trying to tag and score in a pickle and ended up getting the out to wrap up the top of the 6th in that game. Hiller softball leading 8-1. And speaking of wrapping up innings, Ryan Lang strikes out John McLean for out number 3, but not before Dedham bats around the order and scores 3 runs, and we are tied at 5 apiece, heading into the bottom of the 5th on HCAM. Live looking at Hiller softball. They're in the bottom of the 6th, leading 8-1. And perhaps looking to add some more runs. And we'll see what this hitter does before we turn to the baseball game. All right. We'll keep you updated on that softball game, but now we're going to turn back to the baseball game here in the bottom of the 5th. Kelmahan at the plate, and he's going to put this one in the air over the reach of the center fielder, and that is going to be a base hit. A leadoff single to get things started for the Hillers here in the bottom of the 5th as they look to break this 5-5 tie. A nice piece of hitting by the catcher, Kelmahan. He's 2 for 3 today. Pair of singles. Andrew Bauschman at the plate. The Hiller softball has a home run, or maybe a home run. Runner at third and throw in. A nice triple over in the Hiller softball game. And if they had the wall up, that would have certainly cleared the wall, but they haven't been putting that wall up, as that's a tough wall to keep up with the amount of wind that you experience here. As this is hit in the air left side, that's going to be a base hit. So the Hillers have a pair of runners on to start the inning. 2 on, no outs. Zach Stacy to the plate. And there's a strike. Well, this is how you want to start off this bottom of the 5th if you're the Hillers after Dedham tied the game up. Big damage potential as this is up the left side. Takes a couple hops. Throw to first, not in time. Everybody's safe. An infield single for the speedy Zach Stacy. And now with bases loaded, James Hayward, the right fielder, stepping to the plate. He's 1 for 2 today. Had a 2 RBI double in the 4th and has grounded out. Grounded out in the 2nd and the 2 RBI double in the 4th. That was part of the 3-run Hiller rally to make it a 5-2 game at the time. A pitch outside. Wind up and the pitch. Just outside. That'll make it 3-0. A walk here would score a run. A little bit of a surprise with Dedham leaving Jack Haven in. They did have warm-up action earlier, but they leave their starter, and he's thrown 91 pitches. So you have to imagine he's probably a little tired out there. Can't imagine the leash is too long. Swing and a miss as he tries to battle back. Line up and the pitch. And a strikeout there. Nice job by Haven battling back to get the K. One away. Bases remain loaded. Mitch Simulus to the plate. First pitch to Simulus inside, 1-0. Leg lift and the pitch. Outside. 1-1 the count. Swing and a miss. Oh, this would be impressive for Haven if he could battle back here. And this is hit up the left side, dropped by the third baseman. Everybody's safe. Job well done by Mitch Simulus. Put that hard at the third baseman. And another run will score. And we'll see if they score that an error or a hit. I got it down for now as an error. But more importantly, it's a Hiller run. Nick Pedroli at the plate. Pedroli has singled and been hit by a pitch. That one's fouled off. He's also stolen a pair of bases and scored a run. Big part of the order here for the Hillers. Bases remain loaded, 1 out. That pitch high and outside. Well, Haven has now thrown 100 pitches. And he gets a piece of this one over to right field, and it is caught. Runner from third is going to tag. The throw in is going to be cut off, and the Hillers have another run. A sacrifice RBI fly out for Nick Pedroli. Andrew Bauschman around to score. Zach Stacy up to third. And Mitch Simulus remains at first, and the Hillers up by 2. And now we're going to get a chat on the mound, and I would be pretty shocked if they leave Haven out, but maybe they just want to see him get through this inning. He's at 102 pitches, and he doesn't seem to be taking the ball. I think he's going to let him finish the inning, or at least see what he does against Dylan Ruff. Well, update from Hiller softball. They have absolutely tore open their game. They lead at 13-1 heading into the 7th inning as they score 5 more runs in the bottom of the 6th. And there's a strike. Runner from first going to take off. Simulus with the easy steal. Well, the Hillers, they were open to draw a throw there and try to send the runner from third, but Dedham didn't take the bait. Actually, the Hiller softball game has ended. Rule of the mercy has gone into effect. And a strikeout for Ruff. But the Hillers plate 2 more runs, and they reclaim the lead. It is a 7-5 game as we head to the top of the 6th on HCAM.
HCAM is supported by our viewers. Thank you. And by the Hopkinton Independent newspaper and online news site. The newspaper reaches 100% of the homes and businesses in town, and the website is updated daily with exclusive Hopkinton content. Readers can receive a daily newsletter and breaking news alerts via email.
Welcome back to the Hopkinton High School turf fields. We are ready for the top of the 6th inning, a 7-5 Hiller lead. Ryan Lang out there for his 2nd inning of work. Came in relief to face the last hitter of the 5th. Got a strikeout on McLean. Top of the order for Dedham. Cam Galvin at the plate. They batted around last inning. That pitch outside, 1-0. Well, another win by the Hiller softball team today, as this is driven into center field, and that'll get down for a single. Dedham looking to strike back. Well, the Hiller softball game originally supposed to be in Dedham, moved here. And unfortunately, we couldn't get a crew there, but we were able to get some live look-ins as they take their game 13-1. Hiller softball scored 13 runs on 11 hits as Liam Dowling at the plate. He's going to put this one in the air, and that's going to drop into left center. This is going to be trouble, picked up by the center fielder. Throw in, cut off, and a run is going to score. A big RBI double for the third baseman, Liam Dowling, as the Dedham Bats coming alive. It's 7-6 here in the top of the 6th. Ryan Lauder, the catcher, set to step in. But just to give you a little more info about the Hiller softball win, Zoe Levine had a great day at the plate, going 3 for 3, and had 4 runs scored and an RBI. And good performance with the bats all around by the Hiller softball team. Zoe Adams also had a nice day, 2 for 4 with a run. And you had Callie Arthur go 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI. 1-1 the count here on Lauder. But you also got to give big credit to Addie Walls, who pitched 6 innings and gave up 4 hits and only 1 run, as that is hit up the middle, bobbled. And the runner from second is going to stay put. Rightfully so, as he had nowhere to go to get by the Hiller shortstop. It's runners on first and second. No outs. DH Edwin Rodriguez coming to the plate. Addie Walls also struck out 10 hitters for the Hiller softball team. This is driven into left field, and this is going to be a game-tying hit, maybe more. The throw to third, and that is where Ryan Lauder will end up off a big RBI single for Edwin Rodriguez. He advances to second on the throw, dialing into score, and we are retied. That'll bring up Cameron Keene. And there's going to be a chat on the mound. We'll see if Lang stays in the game. It looks like he will. I haven't seen anyone warming up for the Hillers, so this might be Ryan Lang trying to battle his way out. Still no outs in the inning. And the Dedham Bats have really come alive. No. Yep. There's a strike. This is hit up the left side, foul. Apologies, folks. Had to work on a bit of a technical issue, but that was Cameron Keene at the plate, and he ends up grounding out. So there's one away. Jadel Feliciano set to step up. A 5-3 ground out for Keene. Runners stay put. So it's runners on second and third, but not for long as this is hit in the air, caught by the center fielder. Runner from third, going to tag to throw in. And I believe that was in time, was it? I believe he called him out. That throw in time from the center fielder, Nick Pedroli. Nope, it was not in time. Okay. Again, folks, we're at a good distance here, so plays like that are sometimes difficult to see. But that is going to be a sacrifice. That is going to be a run scored for Dedham. Runners on second and third, and Dedham has the lead. That was a great throw from Pedroli. It looked like it reached home plate and would have been on time, but an error allows the run to score, it looks like. And it's an 8-7 game. It's Jack Haven at the plate. Line up and the pitch. That's outside. Ryan Lang remains out there. Still no warm-up action for the Hillers. So the catch was made. It was a sacrifice RBI flyout for Feliciano. There's 2 outs in the inning. A runner on second for Dedham. Swing and a miss. And there's strike number 3. So they get out of the inning, but not before Dedham claims the lead. It's 8-7, heading in to the bottom of the 6th on HCAM.
Saturday morning cartoons are back. Every Saturday at 8 a.m., HCAM's Toon Time has an hour of classic cartoons, from Betty Boop to Superman to Popeye to Bugs Bunny and more. You'll see your old favorites and discover new ones. So tune in to Toon Time, Saturdays at 8, and start your weekend off with a laugh.
Welcome back. Bottom of the sixth. New pitcher for Dedham. As we enter this bottom of the sixth inning, their starter, Jack Haven, threw over 100 pitches. But they were able to get him through 5 innings and claim the lead in the top of the sixth thanks to a sacrifice RBI flyout by Jadal Feliciano. Michael Sullivan stepping in for the Hillers. Your new pitcher is Brady Petto, who started the game at first base. So he's your new pitcher. Cameron Keene moves over from second base and takes over at first base. And then you got Jack Haven, who was the starting pitcher, at second base. So the batting order should stay about the same for Dedham throughout the remainder of the game. Unless, of course, they decide to pinch hit. It's the 4, 5, and 6 hitters this inning for the Hillers. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss. You got to give credit for Jack Haven. He had a battle through a lot, but he was able to pitch 5 pretty solid innings. He gave up 13 hits, 7 runs, 5 of which were earned, as Michael Sullivan was hit by the pitch. He's going to march on down to first. And that'll bring up Noah Kramus, the first baseman. Yeah, quite an outing for Haven. He also struck out 5. Checking at first, runner back safe. Well, the Hillers with some work to do to try to get back on top. And that is fouled away. We actually got a pinch hitter at the plate. That is Rich at the plate. is Travis Rich at the plate for the Hillers. Line up and the pitch. And this is popped up, and it is foul. Foul out of play. Count remains 0-2 on Travis Rich. Runner on first. No outs for the Hillers. Swing and a miss. Out number one. That's going to bring up Calvin Mahan, the catcher. Hit a nice hit in the fifth inning. Ended up scoring a run as well in a 2-run inning for the Hillers. Fouls that one off. That one is high, gets away from the catcher. Runner from first will advance on the wild pitch. And Sullivan stayed in the game to run because he was taken out of the game after 3 2/3 of an inning on the mound and pitched a pretty solid 3 2/3. Then you had Thomas McCarthy, who was a little bit shaky in that fifth inning and into the sixth. We're going to get a pinch runner now, looks like. So they will indeed bring in the pinch runner. Outside. Into the game to pinch run, that's Caleb Altman over at second base. Three and one the count. There's a strike. That'll fill up the count. Runner on, 1 out. Swing and a miss. And there's another strikeout. And that is going to bring up Andrew Bauschman, the third baseman. And he fouls that one away, 0-1. Well, Brady Petto out there throwing some heat. Trying to get his Dedham Marauders the W here. Hit in the air, foul. 1-2. Dedham 0-2 coming into today's game. They lost to Norwood and Westwood to start the season as that's fouled away. So Dedham looking for their first win of this 24-25 spring season. Well, this is certainly a win they'd like to have. They were behind most of the game, came back, took the lead. We'll see if they can hold it, and that's a good start for Dedham. as Brady Petto strikes out the side. And we are heading to the top of the 7th with Dedham leading 8-7 on HCAM. HCAM Sports is supported by our viewers and by the Dentist at Hopkinton. The Dentist at Hopkinton provides services including comprehensive dental care, same-day crowns, facial aesthetics, periodontal care, cosmetic dentistry, and implant dentistry. The Dentist at Hopkinton is located at 77 Main Street and online at hopdent.com. Top of the 7th inning, Ryan Lang remains in the game on the mound for the Hillers. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for Dedham. James Doyle, the right fielder. John McLean, the left fielder. Cam Galvin, the shortstop. And the Marauders look to add some insurance. First pitch to Doyle, a ball. That pitch inside, 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-1. And this is hit up the right side, takes a couple hops, throw over, not a problem. 4-3 for the out. That'll bring up John McLean. Well, the Hillers are going to be down to their final 3 outs next inning. And you'd imagine with the success Brady Petto had coming in relief in that 8th inning, he'll stay in the game to try to close it out. Wind up and the pitch. There's a strike. 0-1 the count. Another strike there, 0-2. And this is hit in the air, foul. Top of the 7th inning, Ryan Lang remains in the game. Leg lift and the pitch. And he gets a piece of this one, foul. Battle continues. I'll tell you, these Dedham hitters, they're battling these Hiller pitchers, making them work. And there's strike 3. Got him looking. 2 away. That's going to bring up the top of the order. Cam Galvin's set to step in. There's a strike. It looks like Ryan Lang has settled down Leg lift and the pitch. And this is up the middle. Takes a couple hops. Picked up by the shortstop. Throw to first. A nice play there for the third out. Nicely done by Dylan Ruff. A 6-3 for out number 3. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th. Hillers down to their final 3 outs with their 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up next on HCAM. Be sure to check out HCAM's must-see TV Wednesdays featuring brand new premieres and our weekly series that keeps you up to date with Hopkinton HCAM News. Also, the weekly series that breaks down your favorite local sports team, HCAM Sports Talk, and the show that keeps you up to date on the Tri-Valley League, TVL Sportsnet. That's must-see TV Wednesdays on HCAM.
Bay Path may have outgrown its space, but not its mission. We need your help to build a new facility that matches our capabilities and dedication. Join us and help ensure we can continue to provide exceptional care and find loving homes for animals for years and years to come. Thank you.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Hillers looking at a strike back. They are down to their final 3 outs, trailing 8-7. Zach Stacy set to step in. Brady Petto out there to try to close it out for the Marauders and grab Dedham their first win of the season. First pitch up high, 1-0. Wind up and the pitch. Down low. 2-0 the count. Leg lift and the pitch. Ooh, that turns the hitter around. 3-0 now. Well, you had Petto. He really sailed through that bottom of the 6th inning. Having a little bit of struggle here to start this 7th. 3-1 the count. Fouled into the backstop. That'll fill it up. Petto battles right back. Leg lift and the pitch. Swing and a miss. There's out number 1. James Hayward set to step to the plate. Well, what a way to battle back by Petto. Started off with a 3 straight balls, then battles back. Gets the out. Swing and a miss there. 0-1. There's There's a strike, 0-2. Top of the order, due up next for the Hillers. Shall Hayward reach? And that's fouled into the backstop. Well, you'll at the very least see Mitch Simulus hit after Hayward regardless. 1 out and an 0-2 count. And he got him, 2 away. Well, Petto struck out the side in the bottom of the 6th after the first hitter of the inning reached, and now he has 5 strikeouts. Will he strike out the side here? Mitch Simulus at the plate. Up high, 1-0. Leg lift and the pitch, and this is hit in the air, foul. 1-1 the count. Dedham 1 out away from their first win of the season in comeback fashioned. Up high. Two and one the count. And that one outside, 3-1. Simulus hoping to draw the walk if Simulus reaches Nick Pedroli to the plate. Outside, walk drawn. A 2-out walk, runner on first, Nick Pedroli stepping to the plate. Pedroli having a pretty good day. He flew out in the first, singled and scored a run, and stole 2 bases in the third, was hit by a pitch in the fourth, and had a sacrifice RBI flyout in the fifth. Up high. Petto's thrown 33 pitches. And the catcher going to come out, have a little chat with Petto. Some words of encouragement from Lauder. Wind up and the pitch. And that's fouled into the backstop. One and one the count. Check it at first. Runner back safe. Outside, 2-1. Well, you knew you were going to have some suspense here towards the end of this one. And this is ripped up the right side. That's going to get through. And that is going to be a 2-out single for Pedroli. 2 on, 2 outs. Dylan Ruff to the plate. Well, Dylan Ruff, he is 0 for 3 today with a walk. But could come up big here. That's high, 1-0. And now the Dedham coach coming out, going to talk with Petto, try to settle him down a bit. I'd imagine he's saying something along the lines of, just get the out. You only need one out. Just throw strikes. Ruff set to step back in. Wind up and the pitch. There's a strike. Down low, 2-1. Well, if Ruff reaches, Michael Sullivan will come up to the plate. Sullivan has had quite a day at the plate. Up high. Three and one the count. Crucial pitch here. Swing and a miss, full count. And the walk is drawn. A slightly high fastball, walk drawn, bases loaded for the Hillers cleanup hitter to the plate, Michael Sullivan. Well, Sullivan has a pair of hits today as well as a sacrifice RBI flyout. And he gets a piece of this one, fouled into the backstop, 0-1. Well, they have him in that cleanup spot for a reason. They're hoping he can clean up the bases and drive in the winning run. And there's a strike. 0-2 the count. Hillers down to their final strike. And that is off the backstop. The battle continues. Petto's had to work this inning. He's up to 45 pitches. And he did not have a whole lot coming out of the last inning. He's probably thrown close to 25 or so pitches in this inning. Well, it's certainly a pitcher's count, 0-2. And this is wrapped up the left side. Here comes one run. Second run being waved around. He'll score as well, and the Hillers are going to win. A walk-off base hit for Michael Sullivan. A 2 RBI single wins the game. The Hillers are going to take it 9-8. Michael Sullivan rips one into left field. 2 runs score. Mitch Stimulus and Pedroli come around, and the Hillers take the 9-8 victory. Unreal. What a game this was between these two very good teams. Michael Sullivan, your hero of the game, with a 2 RBI base hit to win it walk-off fashion for the Hillers by a final of 9-8. Unbelievable. Sullivan went 3 for 3 at the plate, 4 RBIs, and he is most definitely your player of the day today. A 9-8 Hiller victory. The Hillers scored 9 runs on 15 hits, commit 2 errors. Dedham had 8 runs on 7 hits, committing 3 errors. A very impressive comeback win for the Hopkinton Hillers. And the Hillers are now 2-1 on the season. Dedham falls to 0-3. A tremendous day here at Hopkinton High School today. You had Hiller softball get a 13-1 win over Dedham and remain undefeated. And now you have Hiller baseball come back in the bottom of the 7th thanks to a walk-off base hit from Michael Sullivan, which scores 2 runs to put the Hillers in the win column. That is going to do it for our coverage here this evening. A big thank you to our hard-working cameraman, Joe Frackleton, who worked extra hard to bring you some live look-ins at the softball game. And for everybody at HCAM, we thank you for watching. My name's Tom Nappy. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.